I do not know how to feel about this, as the Vancouver Canucks come off a huge win versus the Washington Capitals, with key players stepping up to extend the Canucks win streak. Everything completely flipped as the Vancouver Canucks lost a crucial part of their team as Filip Chytil was injured and exited the game, which has massive implications on the Canucks team moving forward. We're going to break down all this, an update on Chytil, and so much more in this episode, and you're not going to miss it. So let's just dive straight into where the Canucks are going into this game without a key player to start with. We've seen Patrik Allvin announce that Brock Boeser will not play due to personal reasons, so being without one of your top goal scorers on this Canucks team, the captain clutch, coming through. The big thing with Brock Boeser, we hope the best, we want him back. Getting better and dealing whatever he is a big part, but dealing with this with Brock Boeser, the Canucks were down 2 forwards, even going farther in. So we've seen the hit from Tom Wilson, a disgusting hit. The fact that the NHL, the referees, sat there to say that no penalty was called when the puck is not even in sight. This is disgusting. I'm sure Capitals fans are going to be in the comments saying that's a clean hit, but the fact that Filip Chytil has dealt with head injuries before, he's went through a lot of concussions. Tom Wilson laying this hit in the open ice is not what anyone wants to see, especially coming to a player that has dealt with the injuries before. Now, going into this, we know Filip Chytil off to a great start. 3 goals with the Canucks. He could have had more in this game during his 6 games this season. Filip Chytil has dealt with a ton of injuries. 15 games played with the Canucks. We've seen the season cut short by Sam Dickinson. We've seen previous years with the New York Rangers, 41 games, 10 games, 74. Filip Chytil is an incredible play driver, an incredible player, and overall an incredible player to have on your team. But with these injuries racking up, things get worrisome for the Canucks as you move forward. Adam says it perfectly. Late hit by Tom Wilson on Filip Chytil. The Canucks forward had to be helped off the ice. A good hockey hit, in quotes, according to the ref. Vancouver might most likely lose their 2C while Wilson doesn't get a penalty. Great job by the league to protect the players, and this is the most disgusting thing we've seen around the NHL. The Gary Bettman ran team, the refs, George Peros, whoever is in charge of this, the fact that the referees went out to say a clean hit after seeing a player that has dealt with this before is absolutely disgusting and disturbing for the players working through the league with players that have dealt with this, players that have not dealt with this. Just seeing stuff like this consistently happen, something has to shift in the NHL for this to be cleaned up. And I want to even say, Jonathan Lekermacki, who was holding his shoulder after laying a hit, I believe, on Matt Waugh. This is a Canucks team that has been dealing with some injuries. We have another update on Teddy Bluger, who is also not at 100%, and we got an update at the end of the game. But seeing Filip Chytil down, seeing the Vancouver Canucks not really retaliate, we've seen Linus Karlsson, an Abbotsford player, up on this team as a full-time player now, stepping up in this situation. Players need to stop just letting stuff like this happen, and I don't want to point fingers at anyone, but there's a lot of players on the ice. A young player in Linus Karlsson should not be the only player that's going to retaliate on a situation, and I want to take my hat off for Linus Karlsson, and I hope he consistently stays in the lineup, not only because he's good and the fourth line's awesome, but the fact that he was one of the sole players to step up, retaliate, and go after Tom Wilson after this hit. There is one more player I want to give a tip of my cap to as well, and Victor Mancini, who fought a heavyweight in this. He might have not won the fight, laying a few punches, which might have been his first career fight as well. This Canucks team needs a culture change. Yes, there is a lot of players stepping up. Kiefer Sherwood looks outstanding. Pettersson got the monkey off his back, but the biggest thing with this Canucks team is we've seen it from last season. Dickinson laid the hit, did not play another shift. You go into the Chicago game, nothing comes of it. You go into this game with Tom Wilson laying the hit on Filip Chytil, and no one on this team retaliates to Tom Wilson. Evander Kane on the ice being paid $5 million to turn the puck over at this point. This is the Canucks team that needs to do something. You need to protect your players. You've seen Quinn Hughes get absolutely manhandled last game. Nothing came of it. This is a Canucks team that looks good. A 3-game win streak. I'm not going to take this away from them, but someone needs to step up, or they need to go to get someone that's going to step up on this Canucks team to take over situations like this, to calm it down. And this is on the referees as well, to call a penalty, put Wilson in the box. Do not let him off scot-free, because he can do this yet again with no possible fine or even penalty coming out of the matter. But going into the game, as I'm kind of riled up about, not only did we win, but the Filip Chytil injury, where we did see him not return to the game, but a lot of Canucks players really stood tall. Talking on tall, Tyler Myers coming in with his 100th career goal with the Vancouver Canucks. I believe the second goal of the game after Petey scored, which we will touch on. Tyler Myers and a lot of players looked outstanding for this Canucks team. You can work through, once again, Victor Mancini not having the best game, playing about 7 minutes, but listen, he had the fight. You can give him the benefit of the doubt. He stood up. He played with heart, with a lot of Abbotsford players have been doing. But going into the game sheet, a lot of people played very well. Elias Pettersson had an outstanding game, scoring his first goal of the season, up to 3 points. The big thing with the Canucks, they have a lot of guys playing very well. Conor Garland, Evander Kane had a bit of a rough stint, including a drop pass when the empty net was there, when he could have just cleared the puck. But listen, the biggest thing is the Vancouver Canucks came out with a win. They are 3-0 on this road win. You can see a lot of players really stepping up. Teddy Blueger coming back into the lineup, scoring a goal. We can see with Elias Pettersson scoring a goal and setting up Conor Garland with an assist on the power play. Everything this team, or sorry, Kiefer Sherwood scored on the power play, not Conor Garland. But the biggest thing with the Canucks, a lot of positives came out of this game. We've seen Elias Pettersson get back to form, blocking 2 huge shots coming from Ovi, which not a lot of players want to get in front of. But the biggest thing with the Canucks, they're coming back. They're getting these wins. They didn't come from behind in this game, which we've seen in the past. And I mean, the biggest thing with the Canucks playing on fumes, 3 games over the last 67 hours, where they traveled from Dallas, Chicago to Washington. And this was 3 big wins. 2 of the games, Dallas and Chicago, being down by goals going into the second period, coming back and winning both games. The biggest thing with this one, taking the lead early. We've seen them take a 3-0 lead. Yes, the game got a little close in the third period, but anyone's going to be tired when you're playing through a game, and especially over a 67-hour span. But the big thing with the Canucks, and one thing that's super underrated, is one, Pettersson is back. 1 goal, 3 assists, which doesn't look outstanding when you're looking at 6 games. But the way he is playing is completely different than what we've seen in the previous season last year, where he's out there blocking shots, scoring goals. He could have 30 goals on the season. He's just been completely unlucky getting this goal, and a big one, a snipe up in that top corner. Let's watch it once again. Getting this early is big for Pettersson, and getting him back on the score sheet so he can continue to progress. And it falls back on the biggest man of the night in Thatcher Demko. Now looking at this, it doesn't have the stats from the game that just previously happened, but a .929 save percentage before this game. You can go back and look at how good he played throughout the game. A .906 doesn't tell the full story on how the Canucks played, but this is the Canucks team that is looking better than we've seen in previous years. We're seeing guys step up. We're seeing the Canucks play as a team. There has to be things change within this team as well, but I think overall being 3-0 on the road is huge for this Canucks team. They're going to get a quick break before back into action, but what is your guys' thoughts on this? What is your thoughts on Filip Chytil? Do you think he's out for an extended period of time? Teddy Blueger is reportedly being evaluated as well. He got banged up at the end of the game. There's so much to take in from this game. There was a lot of highs and of course a lot of lows, but what is your thoughts? Leave a comment down below. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode, but keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark, and take care, Canucks fans.